We're gonna talk to some people, gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna learn a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna learn a lot of stuff. Cause Kristin knows blank.
Hi, I'm that Kristin from that song that knows blank. That's why I have this podcast, so I can learn more. Each week, I invite on a guest that knows more than I do about a topic to talk to me about that topic. We do a chit chat, we play 5 quick questions, and then do a RAD LiB together, and we all leave better people. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this show, or if you don't, doesn't matter. Give it a like and subscribe to it and review it, because that's what friends do for each other. They like each other's podcasts. I'm Kristin Key. I'm a comedian and a musician, and you can find me and follow me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever by going to my website. That's kristinkey.com. Oh, I'm also on Cameo. So if you want to make somebody's day or tell them happy birthday or happy anniversary or congrats on coming out of the closet or break up with them in a very unique way, find me on Cameo. Now, this week's episode is awesome. I have an incredible guest. The topic this week is the gender spectrum and 90s angsty female bands. Both of these topics were chosen by my guest this week, who is an actor and an actress and a musician and a comedian. And their show, The Brown Show, just got picked up by Amazon Prime. Oh, they also happen to have Mickey Mantle for an uncle. So this is a very exciting guest. Computer lady, play my interview with Kelly Mantle.
Playing interview with Kelly Mantle.
Kelly, thank you for joining me on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
I have so many questions for you today, and there's so much that we have to talk about. But just to get to know you a little bit better, as a gender fluid drag queen whose uncle was Mickey Mantle, what was it like growing up in small town Oklahoma?
Well, I have to say, for a little girly boy like me, especially because on top of Mickey Mantle being my uncle, my dad was the high school football coach. My brother was the high school big star athlete. And then there was me. And, I went into acting and music and all of that stuff at a very early age. So they knew that I was different. And my parents were so amazing. And I was so fortunate to have such loving, accepting parents that encouraged me to be myself. And I was very sheltered, I think, because I knew that I was different, but I didn't ever think anything was wrong with that. I loved being different. So when I walked into a room, if the whole room there wasn't turning around to look at me, I thought, well, what's wrong? Something's wrong if they're not looking. And then to kind of, piggyback on that term, gender fluid, I'm very old. I grew up before the internet, so we didn't have these terminologies, especially in Oklahoma, and so I was just always Kelly,
Right.
It was obvious that I was different than the gender norm boys, and I was different than the gender norm girls. So I was just Kelly, and that's how I've always been my whole life. I've always just kind of identified just as Kelly.
Yeah.
That's
What town was it? I grew up in Amarillo, Texas, and so
did
we
you
were
really?
yeah, real close to the Oklahoma border.
Yeah, exactly. Because I grew up in Cordell, which is down there by southwestern Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
And my parents lived in Lawton, right here before they passed.
Well, there's an outlet mall there.
Yeah.
Yeah, great outlet mall.
I know. I've been to Amarillo tons of times.
It is a place.
That's so funny that you grew up there.
I know. There's a lot of us strange people that grew up in these
Right.
weird little towns. Were we the weird ones, or were they? It's strange.
Exactly. Yeah. It's I don't know. It was, I look back on it, and of course at the time I wanted to live in a big city like New York or LA. But looking back on it, I think if I had grown up in a place like New York or LA, I don't know, my life would have obviously been completely different.
Right.
So I think there's an advantage to being this kind of freak in this, very countrified rural area.
You definitely stand out more.
For a lot of great characters, that's for sure, as an actor. So
I bet. And you mentioned that I grew up also before the internet. And when I was, I came out of the closet at 16. And back then, though, it's like people were fighting labels. I don't want to be labeled. Don't label me this. Don't label me that. And now it seems like there is a label for literally everybody and everything.
Yeah.
And since you are an expert on the gender spectrum, I want us to start by identifying some terms.
And I don't know if I'm an expert, but I've had to live it. You know, I always jokingly say I'm a gay, bisexual, transgender, lesbian, honey. I'm all the above, you know, because God knows I'll eat anything with a sneeze part over it. It doesn't matter.
See, I think that makes you an expert.
Well, and so that exactly. So since I have been one of every one of those things at one point or another in my life, you know, I've kind of had to live the whole, I mean, I have lived the whole gender spectrum, you know, from point pink to point blue and everything in between. So
right. What pronoun do you use?
I'm not a big pronoun police, although I do completely respect anyone's pronoun preference. I respect it. We all should respect it. But personally, for me, it does not matter if someone refers to me as a he and a she. I'm not going to get bent out of shape about it. What makes most sense to me is they, them, because I'm constantly fluid and I'm constantly living as a non-binary person without a gender attached to it. And a lot of people will say, well, I don't understand that they, them, because that just sounds like there's two of yous and I can't get used to saying it. And it's like, no, actually, we all use it in everyday language without even noticing it. For example, if you're walking down the street and you find a set of keys, you're going to say, oh my gosh, someone lost their keys. I wonder if they know it. I wonder if they're going to come back for their keys. You're not saying that there's more than one person that lost their keys. It's just you don't know if they identify as male or female. So you're saying they. Oh, that's a nice car. I wonder if they just bought it. We use they and them all the time. Agreed.
Yeah, it's as simple as if people have a preference, it's easy to respect that preference. And then a lot of us, I grew up in Amarillo, Texas. I'm just happy when people aren't, you know, mean to me. So as long as you're nice to me, you can call me whatever you want. I get young man a lot in the airport and I'm like, oh, young. Yeah.
Right, you know, I get everything. You know, I get, excuse me, ma'am, I'm sorry, sir, or ma'am. And I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah, when you find one you like, you just say,
You know, I'm in the airport. What do you want? You know?
The airport bathrooms in Florida, one of my nightmare scenarios, because every time I'm in a bathroom in an airport in Florida, there's a man in here. Like, no, it's I don't know why it's always Florida airport bathrooms, but sir, this is the ladies' room. I'm like, huh.
Exactly. Yeah, that's another thing, the whole bathroom issue, you know, it's like, oh, honey, you know, I'm like, I have the gender fluids, just let me use a bathroom. It's like, you know. It's like, I don't know which bathroom to use, just let me use one. I've got the gender fluids today.
Right. Like in Europe, most of theirs are floor to ceiling stalls, so you could use whatever. And there's a lot of genderless bathrooms. You just go in, you use the bathroom.
Yeah.
I don't know why America has to be such a police state about the restrooms.
The thing about, you know, talking about gender and the gender spectrum, the thing I've never understood, and especially about Americans, is the anger that is attached to it. I don't get that. Confusion, yes, I'll give you that. I can understand if you're like, well, wait, this is something new to me. This is confusing. I don't understand they, them. I don't understand gender fluidity. You're either a boy or a girl. I get confusion.
Sure.
But anger? Why? Why are you angry? It's not affecting you in any way, shape, or form. So why are you so angry about, you know, like the other day, this Harry Styles, you know, is wearing a dress on the cover of Vogue. And this Candace Owens and all these people are, you know, just up in arms. Piers Morgan, you know, oh my God, what happened to manly men? And I'm like, why are you so angry about it? You know, it's so strange to me.
Well, this country has an issue with masculinity too. You know, it has to be a man's world. What does a man feel like? You've taken away his right to be a man. It's like, what does that mean? That's made up. It's made up.
Well, and that's what that's what most of us, you know, that live under this umbrella are trying to say. Gender is a construct. Gender is something that humankind attached to us and made up, you know. I mean, instead of a gender reveal party, You know, why don't we say, or, you know, at a baby shower, we'll say, I'm having a Gemini. I'm having a Leo, you know. Let's talk about that instead of, you know, let's let the child, you know, grow into the gender that they naturally are, you know, regardless of what's between their legs.
Being comfortable in one's own skin, I think, is the most precious thing that you can have in life. And to not have that, I lived a significant portion of my life not feeling comfortable in my own skin. And I didn't actually come out fully until I was 35. So for like a younger person listening to this, you know, what would you say as far as like if they are in a community where the term gender spectrum might even be, you know, frightening or scary or something to be made fun of, what would you say to a younger, you know, queer identity person?
Well, you're absolutely right. Self-awareness is the biggest gift that anyone can have. And like I said earlier, I was so fortunate to have parents that were very aware that I, you know, was not like the other kids that I went to school with. And we celebrated it instead of thought that it was a problem, you know. And so if you're in that situation, lucky for you. If you're not in that situation, just know, you know, without sounding cliche, it does get better as you get older and as you move forward with other people in life. What you can do, and what I always try to do, is as much as you can, handle everything with humor. People will listen and learn more if you find humor in, you know, how you approach, you know, the education of it. And it's not our jobs. It's not, you know, that's the other thing too. I think a lot of people, you know, they put it on trans people and gender non-binary people to, well, educate me, tell me what this is. Well, you go educate yourself. We have Google now. Right. Go read about it, you know, go educate yourself. It's not our job to educate you. But any opportunity that you get to shed light on it to someone who's open-minded and wants to learn about it, absolutely take the opportunity to do so. But just know that that there's nothing wrong with you, that you are absolutely correct in knowing who you are. And you know, and we know, and we all know, you know, people will try to say, no, that's just a phase. No, that's not this. And no, this. No, fuck you. Absolutely. I know who I am and I know what's going on here. So I don't need you to tell me, because you are the one who's not in touch with yourself. So go fuck yourself and get some therapy.
I want to record that and play it for myself every morning just to hear you say it over and over again. There's nothing wrong with you.
You every morning and just give you daily affirmations.
My Kelly. My Kelly affirmations.
And I'll look this good doing it, hopefully.
You look fantastic.
Well,
like, do you just wake up like this?
I do. I'm not. I just put on some chapstick and some mascara, and I came to join the podcast this afternoon.
I mean, in my entire life, for anything, I've never looked that good. You're on a podcast. Like, what?
More.
You are a fantastic musician. I looked up several of your videos online. I'm always impressed by, but yeah, your voice, your.
It's my favorite thing to do is just to turn the lights down low, shut off the phones, shut off the doors, smoke a little toki and play some music. That's like my favorite thing in the world to do.
Who were your influences as a musician?
Well, you know, growing up in Oklahoma, my early influences, not by my choice, but because my parents were playing them all the time on the radio, you know, were vintage country, Dolly, Loretta.
Oh yeah.
You know, Patsy, Tanya Tucker, Johnny Cash, you know, all of that. And then my dad listened to a lot of Motown. So I had a lot of that in my ears as well, thank goodness. And then as I started to, you know, get to the age of understanding what music was, it was around the same time, you know, MTV was hitting it big and stuff. And so I was influenced by, of course, Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, but then there was this whole like British movement for me, like Boy George Culture Club, Alison Moyet, Yaz, Depeche Mode, you know, Annie Lennox, you know, a bunch of gender benders. And so for the first time in my life, living in Oklahoma, I was seeing, oh my gosh, there's this Boy George that's doing what I'm doing here in Oklahoma. I get it. There's someone like me out there, you know? So yeah, that was huge
representation. Wow.
And then when I went to college, you know, I went through my kind of granola lesbian phase there in college.
Let's stop there for a minute. Let's just
Yes.
ruminate on your lesbian music phase in the
Right.
the 90s Lilith Fair era.
Girl, I tell you what, it was those women who encouraged me to pick up a guitar and learn how to start playing and learn how to start writing music myself. That's when I started.
Do you remember what song or what group it was that actually got you to pick up the guitar?
Ani DeFranco.
Wow. Okay.
Ani DeFranco is the one who it was kind of a mixture of Ani DeFranco, the Indigo Girls, and Tracy Chapman all at the same time.
That's a great mixture.
I was being fed, honey. Like breakfast.
Ani's an incredible guitarist. You look at the guitar differently. I saw her play live once. And after that, I didn't pick up my guitar for a little while. It was like one of those, like, I'm just not going to touch it for a second because she did something different that I'll never be able to do that.
Right. Yeah. No, it's a style of its own, and she's self-taught, and it's miraculous the way she handles that acoustic guitar. You know. Sorry,
I've got to give her another chance. I had 2 ex-girlfriends that were so into Ani that I became anti-Ani. Yeah, and so I need to take another spin on the Ani train just because, you know when you date someone that's so into something, you're like, I'll never like that now. You've just ruined, you know.
And do you know how many girls I know that have said that? They're like,
yeah. I mean, once there's been a poster on your wall and then you break up, you're like, no, no, I can't. If I listen to one more Ani song, I'm gonna lose it. Yeah.
I know.
And the Indigo Girls, they changed the way I listened to music. That was the first song I ever played on the guitar, was an Indigo Girls song.
Which one, Closer to Fine?
Of course.
I'm like, Amy, you're just kidding. I'm bothered.
I love them both so much for different reasons. I mean, it's just like, one's strong and one's soft. Oh, the harmonies.
And can we talk about Katie Lang?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that voice. I have the funniest story about Katie Lang, actually. My friends were in a movie, and we went to the movie premiere, and it was a big lesbian movie, and we were standing outside afterwards, all deciding where we were going to go, and I kept looking over, and there was this guy that was leaning up against the wall with his like black hair and like smoking a cigarette like this, and kept kind of looking at me, and I was like, oh my gosh, and he was wearing like this tan leather jacket, and I was kind of checking him out. I was single at the time, and I was like, oh, yeah. And so my friend Jonna comes up to me. She's like, okay, are you ready? And I was like, no, I'm kind of checking this guy out over here, and he's checking me out, you know, and she's like, which guy? And I was like, the guy over there in the tan leather jacket. And she's like, you mean Katie Lang? Like, shut the fuck up. It was Katie fucking.
Oh my God.
I had the biggest crush on Katie Lang.
Wow. That is looking good in a leather jacket, by the way. That is wearing a leather jacket.
It's so hot.
Wow.
Amazing.
I tried, I guess because I was a self-hating gay for so long, I tried so hard to stay away from like lesbian music.
Did you?
And like to this day, when someone's like, I do a live show on Fridays, and I take requests, and whenever someone requests Melissa Etheridge, I'm like, I'm not playing that. And then I'll like look it up to learn it. I'm like, this song is so good. She's so good. I'm like,
another one. I've been to like 5 of her concerts.
She's so good.
Sleep while I drive. Maybe you can sleep while I drive. I mean, my God, she is so amazing.
It's time for
5 quick questions.
I've got a game called 5 Quick Questions.
Oh.
And yes, and because I know you enjoyed the angsty female singers of the 90s, I've written 5 quick questions to test your trivia on your ladies of the 90s music.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Question 1. Name the musician and the song by the lyric. Can you name this song? I'm a little bit of everything, all rolled into one.
I'm a little bit of everything, all rolled into one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, that sounds like I'm a bitch, Is it her?
Yes.
What's her name?
Meredith Brooks.
Meredith
Bitch.
Brooks. Yes. Oh my gosh, Meredith Brooks.
Okay, so question 2. Name the musician and the song by the lyric. So I turned the radio on, I turned the radio up, and the woman was singing my song.
I turned the radio on, I turned the radio up, and this woman was singing my song. Lovers in love, and the other runs away. Lover is dying, 'cause the other won't stay. Something like that. Lisa Loeb.
Yes, Lisa Loeb.
I love that song. That's such
And what is the song for the bonus point?
You Say. Is it called You Say?
Stay. It's called
Stay.
Stay.
Oh, it's Stay.
You're going to get it because you knew what song it was in your heart.
Yes, in my heart of hearts, I knew.
We went to go see Lisa Loeb in concert and recently. Yeah, well, I mean, before the pandemic, but
the bifocals.
she does, and she doesn't play the song soon. Like she plays it later in her show, and like the audience was getting restless, and they were like heckling her. They're like, "Play Stay," and some guy called it "Cat on a Chair." Play "Cat on a Chair," and she was like, "What?" The video had a cat on a chair. He goes, "Yeah, play that one." So she plays it, and afterwards she hadn't played Sandalwood yet, and so now people are just shouting Sandalwood at her. And she finally she's like, "Guys, calm down. Just calm down. I'm gonna play my music." And my wife goes like in a fake voice, "What about Sandalwood?" And Lisa Loeb lost her shit. It was like, I was gonna play it until everybody started screaming.
So now I'm not gonna play it for you. Lisa Loeb has a breakdown.
It was a rough night. It was a rough night at St. Rock for Lisa Loeb. Question 3. Can you name the song and the musician by the lyric, "She has 2 babies. One was 6 months, one was 3 in the War of 44."
I know this. And what is it? Say it again.
She has 2 babies. One was 6 months, one was 3 in the War of 44.
Gosh, I know this. And I want to say it's like Paula Cole.
Oh yeah, you got it. Nailed it.
Shut up. Yes, I love that.
Nailed it.
Like Alabama or
She has 2 babies. One was 6 months, one was 4 in the War of 44.
You do her so well.
I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. That's it. I don't want to wait.
Why do you do that so good?
Was she the one that doesn't shave her armpits, or was that Sean Colvin?
Ani doesn't either, but yeah, Paula doesn't shave her armpit.
That was what it was. Which is fine. Nothing against that.
Hey, I didn't shave mine today, so I'm living on the edge.
Another great song.
Right.
Okay. Can you, question number 4. Can you name the song and musician by the lyric? He never did marry or see a B-grade movie. He graded my performance and said he could see through me.
Of course I did that. Right away. The Indigo Girls. He never did see a big gray movie. Closer to Fine. Indigo Girls.
Yeah. Went to see the Doctor of Philosophy. So you are doing very well on this, by the way, because there are no real points, and so I think you're killing it.
What am I gonna win?
Everything. You're gonna win everything.
Hey, Jules doing a live stream like this weekend. I'm very excited to see it. She's playing her whole Pieces of You album from front to back.
I didn't know this about her, but I was researching her for something else a while ago. She is like the best yodeler I've ever heard in my life.
Yes.
And I grew up, same as you, listening to country and bluegrass, and like, I've heard some yodeling, and then I heard her yodel. I'm like, stop it.
It's like
She
yodeling.
just become a yodel. Yeah, why didn't she could have been more famous, I think, as a yodeler.
It's those Alaskans. I'm telling you, they're just sitting up there yodeling, honey. That's all they do. Yodel.
Well, it's dark for 6 months. No.
Might as well do something.
Yeah.
I fucking love Jewel. Oh my God. Foolish Games. Oh, a knife to my heart.
Last one. This is number 5. This is for all the beans. Or prize, whatever you want. I think the prize is beans now.
I'll take it.
Can you name the song and the artist based on this lyric? "It is always nice to see you," says the man behind the counter. To the woman who has come in, she is shaking the umbrella.
Say it again.
"It is always nice to see you,"
Oh,
says the man
Suzanne
behind
Vegas
the
on
counter. To the woman who is coming, she is shaking her umbrella. You did so well with 5 quick questions. And now it's time for RAD LiBs. Well, now it is my favorite part of the show, and this is where I ask you very politely if you would play a RAD LiB with me.
No, what is that?
Ooh, okay. A RAD LiB is like a Mad Lib, but I wrote it specifically for you, and I don't want to get sued by Mad Libs.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever done a Mad Lib?
I don't think I've ever done one.
Okay, so here's what happened. I wrote a story, and I've left out some parts of speech. You're going to give me those parts of speech, and together we're going to make a hilarious story.
Okay.
So are you ready? Are you ready to play Rad Libs?
I am ready to play Rad Libs.
I need an adjective ending in EST.
Fastest.
Yes, we're off to a great start. A female name.
A female name.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi.
Naomi.
Yes.
Great name. Verb ending in S.
Dances.
Any first name.
Bert.
A musical instrument.
Guitar.
A celebrity.
Now, celebrity means someone who's not necessarily famous for anything, right? So, Paris Hilton. I love Paris Hilton, though. Don't get me wrong. That's not
I just love your description.
I love Paris Hilton. Simple
Your description
life.
of a celebrity, and then the celebrity plugged someone who's famous but not really for any. Paris Hilton. A number.
3,339.
A genre.
Existentialism. That's a genre, right?
It is. It is.
Samuel Beckett.
There are no wrong answers in a Mad Lib. It just changes the story. I need an adjective.
Flirtatious. Is that an adjective?
Yes, it is. A noun.
Serendipity.
Huh.
I didn't know I was so smart.
Good job. A verb ending in ER.
Getter. That's a Oklahoma verb. Getter. Getter.
That really helps the story. A TV show.
The Jeffersons. One of my favorites.
It's a great show. It's my favorite theme song from a TV show.
Oh.
There was harmony. There was clapping. Ugh.
There was Louise Jefferson.
I did love Wheezy.
Oh my God, I love Louise.
An app.
Instagram.
A verb ending in ing.
Partying.
That
Not
really fits.
partying, but partying.
Partying. Okay. A body part.
Fibula.
A business.
A strip club.
An article of clothing.
A jockstrap.
A phrase.
Don't you know who I think I am?
An adverb.
Unusually.
An exclamation.
Getter. Can we repeat it?
Getter is good because it's different now. An adjective.
Pretty.
I love it. We have a story.
Yay!
We have a great story. This was written specifically for you, Kelly, and this story is called The Kelly Mantle Band.
Oh my gosh. Actually, I used to have a band and we called it the Kelly Mantle Band.
Oh my God. Oh, well, we're going to find out all about that band right now. The fastest all-girl band to hit the airwaves in 2020 is Kelly Mantle's band, Naomi Dances.
Oh my God, I love that.
I do too. That was a great band name, Naomi Dances. The band is made up of Kelly, Bert, who plays the guitar, Paris Hilton's on the drums, and 3,339 backup singers.
That's a lot of that's a choir, honey. It's a gospel choir. We don't play.
They kind of drown out Kelly, I think. There's so many of them.
Please do.
The sound is a mixture of existentialism and flirtatious folk.
Oh, I love that.
Sounds like something
the kind
Yoko Ono would do.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. The kind of music that makes you want to study Stanislavski. I like that.
They quickly rose to success after their hit single, Serendipity Getter, was featured on The Jefferson Show. They have a huge social media presence on Instagram and are always putting out videos of them partying.
True.
That fits. Yeah, that really hit on the nose. Their songs are so catchy that they're always getting stuck in my fibula. Their albums are great, but they're even better live. The stage background looks like a giant strip club. Then, the whole band comes out wearing matching jockstraps. Before the band plays, the crowd chants, "Don't you know who I think I am?" Unusually. Trust me, if you go see Naomi Dances, you'll leave saying, "Get her!" That was pretty.
That is amazing. Oh my God. I love that. I want that to become a true story.
That can. But in the meantime, you're busy. Your web series, The Brown, just got picked up on Amazon Prime. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
It is one of those beautiful things that happened organically out of nowhere and nothing was planned for it. I have my dear friend, one of my best friends, Tammy Brown, an amazing drag artist. She called me up and said, we're going to just shoot this weird series and call it The Browns and come over. And I'm like, what am I doing? And she's like, I don't know, just bring some outfits. And there on the spot, I created this character named Sheila.
She's hilarious.
Out of nowhere. And now we just got picked up by Out TV in Canada. And hopefully it'll end up in New Zealand and other places as well. And Amazon Prime here in the States. So go
The characters are so funny. They're so funny.
It's so fun, and the whole thing is improvised. It's like a Christopher Guest project. You know, we have skeletons of what's going to happen, but the whole, you know, all the dialogue is just completely improvised. So,
well, where can people find you and follow you?
On Instagram, I am the Naomi Dances.
It's like it sounds like such a good. We need to start this girl band, Naomi Dances.
Right? Totally.
The new Indigo Girls.
Instagram, I think, what am I? Kelly Mantle. And then on Twitter, I'm the Kelly Mantle. So.
Okay, well, guys, follow, find, friend Kelly Mantle, and watch The Browns on Amazon Prime. Kelly, thank you so much for joining me today. This was such a good time.
Oh, it was so much fun. I'm so glad. And I'm such a huge fan of all your musical comedy and everything.
Oh, right back at you. I love everything you do. So it's wonderful to get to spend some time with you. And you look gorgeous today. I just can't say it enough.
Thank you.
I know you didn't dress up for me, but I'm just going to pretend like you did. You look fantastic.
I did it just for you.
Interview complete. Sending Kelly Mantle on a Caribbean cruise.
Thanks, computer lady. That'll be really nice for Kelly, or not during COVID. But Kelly Mantle, thank you so much for joining us. And you guys, thank you for listening. Again, if you like this podcast, or if you don't, take a second to like and subscribe. Maybe give it a review. If you want to drop a line to me here at the show, it's Kristin at KristinKnowsBlank.com. And let me know if you have a topic that you're interested in hearing more about, or if you just wanted to say hi. That's great. Again, I'm Kristin Key. I'm so glad that you tuned in. We have a new episode each week. And until next time, bye.
We're gonna talk to some people, gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna learn a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna learn a lot of stuff. 'Cause Kristin knows